यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Samsthapakacharya Savior of the whole world Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8, Lord Krishna shows the universal form. Today we are going to complete the chapter, the last two verses, 51 and 52 we're going to discuss in this session. So I'll chant the 51st verse and you follow, and 52nd I'll do by myself. So text number 51. Tato Bhaktir Bhagavati Tato Bhaktir Bhagavati Putri Bhute Janardane Putri Bhute Janardane Dampatyor Nitaram Asid Dampatyor Nitaram Asid Gopa Gopishu Bharata Gopa Gopishu Bharata Tato Bhaktir Bhagavati Putri Bhute Janardane Dampatyo Nitaramasi Gopa Gopishu Bharata. Tato Bhaktir Bhagavati Putri Bhute Janardane Dampatyo Nitaramasi Gopa Gopishu Bharata. Tataha. Thereafter, Bhakti Bhagavati, the cult of Bhakti, devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Putri Bhute, in the Lord who had appeared as the son of Mother Yashoda. Janardane, in Lord Krishna. Dampatyo, of both husband and wife. Nitaram, continuously. Asid, there was. Gopa Gopishu, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, the Gopas and the Gopis, associating with Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda and following in their footsteps. Bharata, O Maharaj Parikshit. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Thereafter, O Maharaj Parikshit, best of the Bharatas, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead became the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they maintained continuous, unswerving devotional love in parental affection. And in their association, all the other inhabitants of Vrindavan, the Gopas and Gopis, developed the culture of Krishna Bhakti. Please repeat this translation after me. Thereafter, O Maharaj Parikshit, best of the Bharatas, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead became the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they maintained continuous unswerving devotional love in parental affection, and in their association all the other inhabitants of Vrindavan, the Gopas and Gopis, developed the culture of Krishna Bhakti, purported by Srila Prabhupada. Although when this Supreme Personality of Godhead stole the butter, curd and milk of the neighboring Gopas and Gopis, this teasing superficially seemed troublesome. In fact, it was an exchange of affection in the ecstasy of devotional service. The more the Gopas and Gopis exchanged feelings with the Lord, the more their devotional service increased. Sometimes we may superficially see that a devotee is in difficulty because of being engaged in devotional service. But the fact is different. When a devotee suffers for Krishna, that suffering is transcendental enjoyment. When a devotee suffers for Krishna, that suffering is transcendental enjoyment. Unless one becomes a devotee, this cannot be understood. When Krishna exhibited his childhood pastimes, not only did Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda increase their devotional affection, but those in their association also increased in devotional service. In other words, persons who follow the activities of Vrindavan will also develop devotional service in the highest perfection. I'll read the 52nd verse by myself, kindly hear. Text number 52. Krishno Brahmana Adesham Satyam Kartum Vraje Vibhu Saharamo Vasamschakre Tesham Pritim Swalilaya. The translation of this verse given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Thus the Supreme Personality Krishna along with Balaram lived in Vrajabhumi, Vrindavan, just to substantiate the benediction of Brahma. By exhibiting different pastimes in his childhood, he increased the transcendental pleasure of Nanda and the other inhabitants of Vrindavan. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 10th canto, 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Lord Krishna Shows the Universal Form Within His Mouth. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Dvaita Gadadhara Srivasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So these are the two concluding verses of the chapter describing Lord Krishna shows the universal form in his mouth to Mother Yashoda. lot of points in this particular verse. I'll try to cover as many as possible in the short time that I have. The background for this verse is that Parikshit asked a question to Shukadeva Goswami. How was it possible for Nanda and Yashoda to have developed perfection in ecstatic love for Krishna, that the Supreme Lord is appearing as her son, and he is sucking the breast of Mother Yashoda, and he's carrying the footwear of Nanda Maharaj. And so many other pastimes like this, not only with Nanda and Yashoda, but even with the other inhabitants of Vrindavan. So Parikshit's question is, what did they do in the past to be able to achieve such perfection? So Shukadeva Goswami's answer to Parikshit is that in their previous life, Nanda and Yashoda were in the upper planets as Drona and Dhara. And Drona, along with his wife Dhara, spoke to Lord Brahma that please permit us to be born on the planet Earth, so that after our appearance, the Supreme Lord will also appear and spread devotional service, which is the ultimate goal of life, so that people in general can be delivered from this miserable condition of materialistic life by accepting this devotional service. So Brahma said, yes, let it be so. And after that, Nanda and Yashoda, Drona and Dhara appeared as Nanda and Yashoda, and Krishna appeared as the son of Nanda and Yashoda. So today's verse, two verses, Shukadeva Goswami is concluding by telling, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead became the son of Nanda and Yashoda, both Nanda and Yashoda actually are eternally, that is described earlier, the parents of the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world. Eternally the parents means, we know in this material world, we may have parents, but they cannot eternally be our parents, because their position as parents is based on the specific material body and situation they have now. And even our position as son or daughter of certain parents is simply based on our body, material body. Whereas in the spiritual world, Krishna and Krishna's devotees don't have material bodies. So, they are in their original spiritual form, which is eternal, and their position is also permanent. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and devotees are devotees. Eternally they are so. And devotee means there is a relationship of devotion, of bhakti. And bhakti relationship means it is filled with love. And that love is different from the love we know in this material world. Love in this material world is described in the Bhagavad Gita as lust, kama. Love in the spiritual world is called Prema. Kama and Prema. They look like they are the same, but they are not the same. So the difference between what passes off as love in this world, which is actually lust, and love in the spiritual world between Krishna and the devotees, the differences are described in the Bhagavad Gita, but let's try to understand from this description here, today's description. It said here that Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda maintained continuous, unswerving devotional love in parental affection. They maintained means they already had before Krishna appeared as their son. They already had devotion, and that devotion means always devotional love. Bhakti means, it's generally translated as devotion, but bhakti is devotional love. So that's why sometimes bhakti or pure devotional service is distinguished from mixed devotional service, Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti, devotional love. Devotional love is actually the perfection of anybody's practice of bhakti or bhakti yoga. That's the goal, devotional love. And this devotional love, one can have a relationship of devotional love with Krishna in different varieties. Varieties. Whereas lust, there is no variety in lust. There is no variety in lust. Lust is simply the strong desire to enjoy my senses. One's own strong desire to enjoy one's senses is called lust. And prema, lust or kama. Prema is just the opposite. The strong desire to satisfy Krishna's senses. The strong desire to satisfy Krishna's senses. And why? If I have a strong desire to satisfy my senses, my goal is, by satisfying my senses, I can experience some pleasure. I can enjoy some happiness. Whereas the goal of devotees having a strong desire to satisfy Krishna's senses is that Krishna may be pleased, Krishna may enjoy. Even in the material world, sometimes we may try to please somebody so that they become happy. But the background is, why do I want to please somebody else? And why do I want to please them so that they become happy? Because by their becoming happy, I will become happy. By they getting some satisfaction, I will become satisfied. So what's the meaning of this, what I told just now? It means that unless there is some satisfaction or happiness for me, I am not interested in anybody else. Simple example I can give. Supposing I am returning to the temple. I had gone to the city yesterday. I was returning to the temple. On the way, I saw an accident. Yesterday it didn't happen, but let's say I saw an accident happen. So I'm stuck in the traffic because of the accident. Then out of some curiosity, I may ask, what happened? I mean, how severe is the accident? Oh, the person who met with that accident is died. They're waiting for the ambulance and the fire brigade. Person died. Such a ghastly accident. So I become very concerned. Then, if I think that actually one of our devotees is also outside and maybe he's somewhere in this region, in this place, and he has also gone in a vehicle. Did he meet with an accident? Who is that? Who is that? I become very concerned. And somebody tells, yeah, adon mutki sataburto. Then I say, oh, it's not our devotee. Okay. I experience some relief. You see? I experience relief. If it is our devotee, my temple devotee, he met with an accident. What will be my reaction? Completely different than hearing that, oh, the person who met with accident is not related with you, is not connected with you. Somebody. You see? Why? Why am I interested in knowing who that person is and something happened, ghastly happened, whether it is connected with me or not connected with me? That's my main intention of asking. See my reaction? If it is somebody connected with me, immediately I'll get out of the car and try to do something. Something has to be done. I'll be so much in anxiety. With somebody else, wait for the traffic jam to get cleared. Ambulance will come, take that person who's dead, and fire brigade will clear the traffic, and then we'll start going. Kaibeko. Okay, I have to wait. See the reaction, difference in reaction? So, all activities in this material world, which are termed as activities performed for in loving relationship is only with a selfish interest that I want to enjoy, I want pleasure, I want satisfaction, I want happiness. It's always driven by my desire for my personal happiness. By the way, others may also become happy, but primarily I am driven by my own happiness. This is called false ego, ahankara. This body, this mind, the gross and subtle body, is actually completely driven by a strong desire for exclusive enjoyment of myself. Exclusive enjoyment of myself. And if at all I have some desire also sometimes for pleasing others or for others also to enjoy with me, it is because they belong to me, they are mine. Always this is the driving force. My father, my mother, my children, even my country, or my state, or my community, it is always centered around me. I and mine, aham mameti. Whereas devotional service, bhakti, is always Krishna, 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 Krishna. And therefore it is described here that when a devotee suffers for Krishna, that suffering is transcendental enjoyment for the devotee. How to understand this? That in rendering some service to Krishna, if there is apparently some suffering, externally appears like some suffering is there, but actually it is not suffering for the devotee. The devotee experiences transcendental enjoyment or transcendental pleasure, the pleasure of bhakti. So, what is this pleasure of bhakti different? How is it different from the ordinary pleasure that we experience in our material activities? In bhakti, always the desire, the goal is to please Krishna. Krishna may become satisfied, Krishna may be happy, Krishna may be pleased. And if Krishna is pleased, even if I am not pleased, even if I don't have enjoyment, I don't have pleasure, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Of course, a semblance of this bhakti is there in this material world. And it is only seen very rarely seen in this material world, something like devotional love, which devotees have for Krishna, or Krishna has for his devotees. That devotional love is seen in this material world when a mother gives birth to a child. The feeling of the mother for the child is actually a semblance of that devotional love. Why? Because after the child is born, the mother will care for the child irrespective of whether it is really pleasurable for the mother or not. After all, when the child is born, It is totally helpless. And the mother has to attend to the child every single requirement. When the child starts crying, the mother wants to attend to the child to actually find out why is the child crying, because it can't speak. She can't ask, why are you crying? No. So she has to try to find out what is the cause. And when the cause is found out, oh, it is hungry, so mother will feed the child. As soon as the mother feeds the child, when the child is hungry, the child will start smiling. It has passed urine or stool in the diaper. Then mother understands, oh, it's crying not because it's hungry, because its diaper has become dirty. So then mother changes the diaper and cleans the child. Child is very happy if it is crying when the diaper is dirty. But the mother is not just going to check a few times and say, oh, shut up, don't cry. Generally, a mother will not do that, especially when the child is very small. Let's say when an ant is biting, somehow an ant has got into the diaper. Of course, it doesn't happen with diapers nowadays. Formerly, they used to have just one piece of cloth which they used to use as a diaper. And then the cloth somehow, there's an ant. The mother does not notice the ant in the cloth and then changes the diaper, changes that cloth which is soiled and puts on a new fresh cloth. And the ant has got in and the ant starts biting. The child is crying. Mother is trying to find out why is the child crying. Oh, it is hungry, try to feed the child, or it doesn't stop crying. No, I don't want to drink milk. Then, oh, it's feeling very, very suffocated. Bring one fan and try to fan the child, it's not stopping crying. Oh, I have to change the diaper. She changes the diaper, but the diaper is not dirty at all. Still, she thinks, let me change the diaper. It's not stopping to cry. Okay, I'll change the diaper. Ant has come with the diaper, but ant is not coming off the diaper. It's crawled a little away from the diaper, that cloth. So ant continues to bite. That's why the child is crying. But how will the mother figure out there is an ant there? Anyway, she is not going to be satisfied simply by few times trying to find out why the child is crying. She wants to comfort the child at all cost, any cost. That is called love. That is called love. But anyway, in this material world, since the body is temporary, when the child grows up, it doesn't require the kind of service the mother has given when the child was totally helpless. So it can't last. That kind of relationship cannot last in the material world. Because everything in the material world is temporary. The situations are temporary, the body is temporary, the relationship is temporary. Everything is temporary. Whereas in the spiritual world, the body is not temporary, the form is not temporary, it's a spiritual form, it's an eternal form. So spirit means unchanging. Spirit means unchanging. And material, matter, constantly changing. This is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha. Arjuna asks, what is this Adhibhuta? So, Krishna describes Adhibhuta is this material nature. Its characteristic, it is constantly changing. Kshara. Kshara means changing. Constantly changing. Our body, this world, anything material we have, all our possessions, everything is constantly changing. And changing, how is it changing? It is always deteriorating. It is losing strength, it is losing vitality, it's losing its existence itself is going to end very soon when it completely deteriorates and vanishes, including this body, everything. Nothing is permanent, everything is temporary, because constantly material nature, everything is changing. That is, which is made of matter, is going to change. And the spirit is like we experience. I have gone through childhood, I've gone through youth, I've gone through middle age, now I've reached old age. I am the same person experiencing all these changes in the body. The body is changing, I am not changing, I am the same person. So this Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita in 2nd chapter. You are the unchanging spirit soul. You are not the body, because the body is changing and you are experiencing the change of body. You are experiencing the change of body. So you are different from the body. So therefore, spirit or spiritual world or spiritual activities or spiritual form, everything is permanent, unchanging, eternal reality. But that eternal reality in the spiritual world is not conducted by these 3 gunas. Here, material world, everything is conducted by the 3 gunas. The gunas are interacting and producing changes. So this interaction of gunas which produces changes is simply one effect of some activity or some appearance or some happening. Just like when we wake up in the morning, our face looks very ugly, very dirty. So I have to take a bath, nicely cleanse my entire body and my face particularly. Then after I have taken a nice bath, then the face looks oh so nice. And of course I have to arrange my hair, I have to wear proper clothes, so many things I have to do. So the same body, in one state it appears dirty, the same body in a clean state, in a properly dressed state, it looks beautiful, looks very clean, looks very nice. That's not the case with spirit. Spirit means there's no question of dirt, becoming dirty, spiritual form, body. There's no question of becoming dirty. Has to be decorated, then only it look beautiful, look very nice. Otherwise it will not look so interesting. No, nothing like that. Still in the spiritual world, Mother Yashoda decorates Krishna with nice ornaments. She bathes every day Krishna. Why does she bathe Krishna? Because the body doesn't become dirty. The body is first of all not made of blood and mucus and pus and urine and stool. None of these things are there. But still, why she has to bathe Krishna? It's simply out of her eagerness to serve Krishna. What way can I serve Krishna for his pleasure? So this is something that is the situations in the spiritual world are created by Yoga Maya, are fashioned by Yoga Maya. Just like spiritual world, there is no darkness. Because there is no sun there, which is illuminating. In this world we are living in, the world by nature is dark. So we need a source of light. Otherwise in darkness we cannot see anything. So we require a source of light. The primary source of light is the sun. And then at night when the sun is set, sun is not visible in the sky or in the horizon, then we require some other source of light. So we have alternate sources of light. But in the spiritual world, the description in the Bhagavad Gita, na tad bhasayate suryo, na shashanko, na pavakaha. There is no need of illumination by sun, moon, fire, electricity. No, not required. Why? Because always there is the Brahma Jyoti, the spiritual effulgence in the spiritual sky is illuminating the entire spiritual world. Always illumination is there. No need of any source of light. So then does it mean that there is no sun, so no question of sunset, so no darkness? It means there is no night at all. Always daytime. Boring, no? Always daytime. So there is day and night in the spiritual world. There is day and night. And how can there be night? Night in the sense what we understand night here is darkness. How can there be darkness? So that is you can't say creation, something that is arranged by Yoga Maya for Krishna's pleasure, for Krishna's pastimes. So for Krishna's pastimes, there is a sun. The sun rises in the morning. Even in Golok Vrindavana, there is sunrise. Because there is sun. Why is there? There's no need for sun, no? Because there's no need for illumination, so there's no need for sun. No, it is for the sake of Krishna's Leela. Sunrise, then noontime, sunset, evening, night. Night means Krishna goes to sleep. Morning means he is woken up by Mother Yashoda. Get up. Now it's morning. So all this is arranged by Yoga Maya simply for the sake of giving pleasure to Krishna and Krishna's devotees. All activities, there is no need for anybody to work there in the spiritual world. Everything is arranged by Krishna through Yoga Maya. There is no hunger, there is no thirst. If there is no hunger, why they should eat then? Just like in this world, because there is hunger, we are able to eat. Can you imagine? If there was no hunger, there was no need to eat. And neither, even if we wanted to eat something which tastes very nice, we cannot eat. We cannot eat. So spiritual world, eating is simply for the sake of pleasure. Cooking is simply for the sake of pleasure. Every activity, every situation, everything exists only for one thing, Ananda. Anandamayo bhyasat. Krishna is full of Ananda. And he is also sharing that Ananda unlimitedly with all the devotees. And therefore the devotees are always blissful. And what is the nature of that bliss? Ever increasing. As it is said here, simply to increase the transcendental pleasure of Nanda and all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, Krishna exhibited different pastimes in his childhood in Vrindavan. Simply to increase that pleasure. Because we are very tiny, how much pleasure can we experience being very, 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 very insignificant Jivatma? Some quantity of pleasure we can experience. But Krishna is unlimited, and Krishna's pleasure is also unlimited. So Krishna gives us unlimited pleasure. And because we taste a little spiritual pleasure, it's so very relishable that we want more. So when we want more, Krishna supplies more. Because spiritual pleasure, the source is Krishna. Everything source is Krishna only, including spiritual pleasure. So if I get some spiritual pleasure from Krishna, I want more of it. Krishna supplies more. Then I become even more happy after tasting more of that spiritual pleasure. Then I want more of it. And Krishna supplies more. So this is what is going on in the spiritual world. The inhabitants of the spiritual world are continuously experiencing pleasure more and more and more and more and more and more. And how much more? Unlimitedly more. That is spiritual existence. There is no cessation, there is no stopping, there is no end, there is no limit. But that doesn't mean we become God. We don't become unlimited. Only that capacity to enjoy more and more and more is the characteristic of spirit. You can understand why somebody has got, let's say, 10,000 crores. That's their value of their assets. Some very big, top businessman in this country. Okay. But they can be satisfied with 10,000 crores, no. They'll again invest that and try to increase that more. Why? Where is this coming from? It is coming from the spiritual world, our original position as spirit soul. Krishna is continuously giving pleasure, but there is no satiation. At no stage a devotee will say, enough Krishna, I don't want any more pleasure. Because the characteristic of the spirit, that if you get little of something that is very nice, you want more. To be always happy, to be always enjoying is not the right word, to be always blissful, and to be wanting more and more of the bliss, that which is very nice, is the characteristic of spirit. Characteristic of spirit. And what is the characteristic of the body? Matter. First of all, matter, there is no need, there is no demand. What we think is, I want some pleasure for my senses, is actually a creation of Maya. Illusion. It's illusory. Just like eyes want to see some beautiful form, it's actually a creation of Maya. It is not the real demand of the eye. It's actually my necessity, need, as spirit soul. Because I want happiness. I am missing the happiness that is naturally there as spirit soul in the spiritual world, in my relationship with Krishna. Because I am separated from Krishna. I have forgotten Krishna. So bhakti means to reinstate our position as devotee of Krishna, in relationship with Krishna, so that we begin to experience real happiness, devotional love. And that devotional love has got varieties. Different varieties. This is all explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. Prabhupada has translated that book. It explains different kinds of love. It first of all explains what the difference between devotional love and this material lust. What we call as love, the material lust. It explains the difference. It explains also the characteristic of devotional love, the varieties. And how many varieties? Unlimited varieties. Unlimited varieties. And ever increasing, never reduces, there's no saturation. So that is what Krishna is inviting us. Come to me. Enjoy in my association. Experience pleasure with me, not independently. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, please chant Hare Krishna. Why? Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, you can awaken your devotion to Krishna. And when your devotion to Krishna is awakened, then you begin to experience what is real happiness, spiritual happiness, devotional love. And then you don't want any of these material things which are insignificant, very, 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 very inferior. Only want that spiritual, devotional love, simply by chanting Hare Krishna. So therefore we request, please chant Hare Krishna. But it's not available only with chanting Hare Krishna. It's also available by hearing or reading or understanding this Bhagavatam. Simply by hearing Bhagavatam. Shravanam is also one of the practices of bhakti, activities of bhakti. Shravanam, hearing. How hearing can be giving us spiritual pleasure? Because the content that you hear is spiritual subject matter. Therefore, the pleasure you get out of this, the experience of this, is also a spiritual experience. It is one of spiritual love, spiritual pleasure. It's a spiritual activity, hearing Bhagavatam. So, this also actually awakens our bhakti, hearing Bhagavatam, chanting Hare Krishna. Having darshan of Krishna, that is also a spiritual activity. Because it's not like seeing some material object or seeing some material person. No, it's not like that. It is different. So, you have to engage in these type of activities, activities of bhakti, bhakti yoga. And then gradually your devotion to Krishna is awakened, and that devotion to Krishna will actually, when it is fully awakened, fully developed, it's not developed, it's awakened, then you are reach the perfection. That is what is the goal ultimately, to reach perfection of bhakti. Fully awaken this devotion. Hare Krishna. Stop here. Antarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.